Are we talking about defense? We talking about defense today on Locked On A's.
You are Locked On A's, your daily podcast on the Athletics, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Welcome to Locked On A's, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. I am your host, Boney. One name, all passion. I've been an A's fan since they redid the San Mateo Bridge that long ago. Used to take 92 across the San Mateo Bridge before they redid it, and traffic was forever. Took about an hour and a half, 2 hours to finally get to Hagenberger. Had season tickets to the Warriors. Never had season tickets to the A's. Kind of always just got my tickets on the spot. But started watching them back when Ricky was absolutely running wild. The Bash brothers were hitting bombs. Saw McGuire early on in his career. Skipped school. Always just check out the Thursday day games or Wednesday 12:15 starts. It was something special. The Coliseum was unreal before they redid it with Mount Davis. And then it just went to the opposite way. But it was believe it or not, it was an absolutely gorgeous stadium at one point. We are free and available wherever you get your podcast, including YouTube. So do me a favor and hit that subscribe button wherever you are following the show. It does help. If you are in Nevada, you can check us out on Silver Sports and Entertainment, Digital Channel 5.2, Cox Cable Channel 77, Monday through Friday at 12:30 p.m. Believe it or not, I have not seen one of those shows. I assume it's okay. Today's episode is brought to you in part by FanDuel. Right now, new customers can bet just $5, and if your bet wins, you'll get $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. Download the app today. Billy, how are you, sir? Good to see you, brother. RD. It's too loud at the Golden Knights game to hear. I will listen when I get home. Dude, you know what? I'm pretty psyched up for today's show, and what really motivated today's show, obviously, was the Tyler Soderstrom getting nominated for Gold Glove. And it came to a surprise to me, as I'm sure it came to a surprise to you. And I've never been a real big metrics guy as far as defensive metrics go. Who cares, right? But when Soderstrom got nominated, I decided to kind of look into it a little bit. And it was so darn interesting on how they come to get to the Gold Glove type of Gold Glove finalist. And secondly, it was interesting to see who you thought played great defense. And when you look at the metrics, the defense was awful. If the A's were in the playoffs, what would be my 26-man roster? You got your outfield. I'll give it to you right now. I've kind of gone through this so many times. Considering everybody's healthy, Billy, you guys love 26-man roster. I'm going to give it to you. And I'm going to put out my 26-man roster picture. Here it is. No, that is working from last year. Okay, let's say everybody's healthy, Billy. Left field, Soderstrom. Center field. Let's go start with outfield, right? Outfield, Soderstrom, Denzel. This is assuming everyone's healthy. Denzel, Lawrence, Cortez, Colby Thomas. I got first base, Kurtz. Second base, Gelof. Hernandez at second base as well, or one of those utility infielders. Shortstop, Wilson. Third base, Muncy, Brett Harris. Behind the dish, McIver and Langolier. So that's my 13 infielders, right? That's my 13 position players. Pitching, Severino, Springs, Lopez, Morales, Jack Perkins. Bullpen, Newcomb, Ferguson, Kelly, Alvarado, your boy. Who else am I missing, guys? Badeau, obviously. Well, I mean, 10. I'm at 10 right now. I know I'm missing a few here, guys. You might have to fill in the spaces for me, or I'll just pull up my list. You know what? I will cheat. Who else I got in that situation? Hogan Harris, obviously. That's my guy. Hogan Harris. Michael Kelly, Tyler Furt, Justin Sterner. And I think that's, and JT Ginn. No, yeah, JT Ginn. That's my 13. That's 13. That's 13. That's what I would go with. What do you think of bringing back Max Muncy from the Dodgers to play third or second? He'd have to play third. Well, either one, right? I think it would be third though for Muncy, and I love it. Problem is we'd have to overpay. So I want you guys to remember one thing: no matter what free agent we go after, you got to mark him up approximately 30% to come to Sacramento. And what I'm using in that situation is I'm using Severino's numbers, right? 17 million he was estimated at last year. He is due. He made 22 million. So everybody pop up 30%. What's Muncy's going rate next year? Is he even a free agent next year? I forget his stats as far as what it is. But I like Max Muncy. We'd have to, for Muncy to go to LA, to Sacramento, we'd have to grossly overpay for him. And that's what I'm worried about with that. Grossly overpay for Muncy. Disgustingly. Bravo, Soderstrom. I was in the trade for him on starting pitchers. He seemed like, oh man, he is unbelievable. Let me tell you guys what exactly goes in to what they do for the Gold Glove. All right. So the big thing you got to look at with regard to Gold Glove, guys, is what they're looking at is outs above average. Okay. It's basically runs saved or range-based metric that tells us how many extra outs a defender has saved for his team compared to an average fielder at the same position. Every day a fielder has a chance to make is graded by StatCast. They use StatCast. Now, using the exact same circumstances, right? How far he has to go, how much time he had, the ball speed, trajectory, etc. Based on that, the play gets an expected success rate. Then they add up the OAA, again, the outs above average, and it depends on what the credit or debit the fielder earns on each play. And I'll get to that, how they calculate that in a second. So basically, outs above average is the cumulative number of outs a player made above or below what an average defender would be expected to make over the season. How's it work? Let's break it down with an example. Suppose a shallow fly ball is hit. Given its distance and hang time, an average outfielder catches 75% of the time. If Soderstrom catches it, he gets plus 0.25 added to his outs above average because he made the out that 25% of the players wouldn't have made. Now, if he misses it, he gets a negative 0.75% because he failed to make it out at 75% of the peers would have made. You do this for every ball hit a player's way, adding credit for tough plays made and subtracting for missed plays, and you get his season's out above average, right? A positive outs above average means he's converting more would-be hits into outs than the average fielder, okay? So in other words, what's his cumulative at the end of the year? Now, when I come back, I'm going to go through exactly what Soderstrom got, what his peers got, and what the rest of our position players got as well with regard to outs above average. That is the main metric you got to consider when you're talking about outs above average. What I found out, and the interesting part about it, is would really, really surprise you. The metrics, again, I'm not really into the metrics, but when I actually looked at this, guys, beyond interesting. I think you'll find it very interesting as well. I'll see you in a minute. This episode is brought to you by Prize Picks. Every day we make decisions, but on Prize Picks, being right can actually get you paid. Don't miss the excitement of this football season with Prize Picks, where it's good to be right. Playing Prize Picks is such a fun, simple way to add more excitement to football. You pick more or less on player projections like Josh Allen's passing yards or Saquon Barkley rushing for a touchdown, and you're in the game. I love how quick it is. You can make your lineup in under a minute. My favorite part, Prize Picks just added stacks. So if I want to ride with a player, I can select their passing yards, rushing yards, and touchdowns all in one lineup. It's also fun to follow other players in the app and copy their lineups with one click. And the new injury reboot feature, if your player leaves early and doesn't return, it won't count against you. Download the Prize Picks app today and use code LOCKEDONMLB to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code LOCKEDONMLB for $50 in lineups after your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. It's good to be right. All right, guys, here's some of the totals. Here's what's interesting, and this is how Soderstrom got ranked. The finalist, I believe, in left field is Wyatt Langford and Stephen Kwan. Stephen Kwan had an outs above average of 6. Okay, he was tied with Isaac Collins with the Brewers, but Collins did not qualify based on number of games played, attempts, etc. Second place was Cody Bellinger. They had listed in left field with 5, Wyatt Langford with 5, and Soderstrom with 5 as well. So Soderstrom actually ranked tied for second in the American League for outs above average in left field. To give you an idea what this is like, Denzel Clark, he ranked third among center fielders and 5th in all outfielders with 12. But look how many games Denzel played. He played less than half the games. Maybe, I think he ended up playing like 60 games or something, 50 games. He hardly played. He still racked up 12 points, which is nuts. The leader in for everybody was Pete Crow Armstrong, who had amazing. He had 24. Raffaello with Boston had 21. Victor Scott with St. Louis, 17. Jacob Young with the Nationals had 14. And then Denzel Clark had 13 outs above average. Soderstrom, again, had 5. But still, I mean, that's a big reason in what they look for with regard to outs above average. Now, here's what I was surprised at. I feel almost kind of stupid to even say this. Now, I'm not going to tell you their whole outs above average. Infielders and outfielders have same type of metrics as far as outs above average, right? How likely is the play to happen? And what's the points you're going to get with regard to it? Same type of metrics, different positions, different grading, but same type of deal. Catchers is a whole new deal, right? Catchers have all sorts of stuff which contribute significantly to their wins above replacement, etc. But here's what I was surprised at, guys. This is what I'm surprised at. Jacob Wilson, who I thought had a pretty darn good year in defensively, ranked 27th in outs above average in all of baseball, which isn't very good. Let me see if that was in the American League or in all of baseball. I hope it was in all of baseball, that's for sure. 1 second. Fielding run value. Position. I'll tell you, Wilson statistically was terrible, but by the naked eye, I thought he was all right. I thought he was okay. That's an all of... No, he was worse. Jesus, hang on. Yeah, no, that was... that's above average. 27th he ranked in all of baseball. Nick Kurtz ranked 36th for first baseman. Second baseman, the only guy that qualified was Luis Urias. He ranked 38th. Wow. Gio Urshela ranked 28th. Denzel Clark ranked 13th. Butler did all right, was ranked number 8 in corner outfielders. Now, again, you're going to have multiple people at multiple positions, right? So that's why you have such high rankings for utility guys, etc. Langoliers for catchers, 27th. So defensively as a whole, according to the metrics, we're terrible. Absolutely terrible. Which was a little bit of a surprise to me. Soderstrom, the big thing what Soderstrom did is he made all the plays he was supposed to make. The most difficult plays, and here's another cool little stat they have, outfield catch probability, right? In other words, what's the probability of him making a catch that was, let's say, had a 25% chance of making of the play being made, etc. I'll tell you exactly what he had. Let's just take a look at that. So Soderstrom, fielding run value, he was at 3. His arm's not considered one of the better arms out there, though. That's the problem there with him. But again, let me find the outfield catch probability. There we go. Outfield catch probability. Soderstrom, for example, on a play that had a chance of making a 0 to 25 chance of making, right? For example, that play Denzel Clark had where he jumped over the fence, and a lot of the plays he made have a percentage of 0 to 25%. Soderstrom was 1 of 18. He had 18 opportunities. He made 1 play. Not the best in that situation. On plays that had a 26 to 50% chance of being made, he was 3 for 5. 3-star, 51 to 75%, 66.7. 2-star, 76, he made 90%. And a 1-star, he made, which is 91 to 95% chance of making, he was 17 of 18. Here's the deal. Yes, Soderstrom was awesome. Switch positions, brand new. But out of all the outfield positions, the left field is the lowest. And what I mean by that is Quan, Langford, and Soderstrom, who are the finalists for the Gold Glove, were on the lower half with regard to outs above average, with regard to the other corner positions and other corner and center field. Well, obviously, center fielder is going to be your best fielder. What's up, Patrick? Why can't we move Wilson to third? We can. Who do we put at short? You're thinking DeVries? Is that what you're thinking? You put DeVries at short, Wilson to. So here's the situation. Okay, let's say that all comes into fruition, right? You got you could play Muncy at second as well, Patrick. You could go either way. My point being is if those are your 3 Infield. If your infield is Kurtz, Muncy, Wilson, and DeVries, and you want to move Wilson off short, I'd rather have Wilson playing second and Muncy playing third. I'd rather have Wilson at one of the middle positions. That's me, but we could see what happens. Boney, this is fascinating. Langoliers and Wilson passed. No kidding, man. Langoliers did have some things with things, but Wilson I thought was all right. I don't know, man. Let's put it this way, Gary. When I was looking at the numbers and I found this out, I was like, oh, Wilson's going to be, super high on this list. He'd be top 10, top 15. Oh, man. I was disappointed, man. Wilson lacks the range. Got to stick him in the corner. Patrick, okay, maybe, but I think he has better range than Muncy. Muncy's nothing special with range. Wilson has better range than Muncy, and that's who we're debating against. But hey, think about it. Think about who you want in the middle positions. I'm going to take a break real quick, and we're going to hear from FanDuel. I'm going to tell you what's up with FanDuel. When I come back, tell me, Patrick, if you're off that, I want you to think about it. If you're off that Wilson at third thing for Muncy, I'm not sure. But hey, we'll both think about it. The NFL season is here, and FanDuel has an offer you don't want to miss. Right now, new customers can bet just $5 and get $300 in bonus bets if you win. That's right. Pick a bet. Put down $5, and if it hits, you'll unlock $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. I love how FanDuel gives me so many ways to play. I've built parlays, tried player props, and even follow the live lines during games. It makes watching football even more exciting when you've got a little something riding on the action. Whether you're a casual fan or love diving into the stats, FanDuel makes the game day experience so much better. So what are you waiting for? Visit FanDuel.com to download the FanDuel app today and get started. Thank you for making Locked On A's your first listen every day. For your second listen, find the all-night Locked On MLB game night, every game, every night, until a World Series champion is crowned. Get local analysis on a national scale. Find MLB Game Night on Locked On MLB on YouTube or wherever you listen to your podcasts. So what do you got, Patrick? We had about a minute break there. That's the choices were presented, right? DeVries wasn't great defensively either this year, by the way, in the minor leagues. He wasn't very good. Now, I think that has a lot to do with age, experience, reps, rather than talent. I think he's going to be great, but he's 18 years old. He'll be 19 years old next year. He's a big kid right now for a shortstop. How's his body going to develop? Where's he going to end up being? Etc. But right now, if you had to ask me a question and say, well, who would I rather have at second or third? For me, I would rather have Wilson at one of the up-the-middle positions, and I'd rather have Muncy at third. I think Muncy has a bigger arm than Wilson. That's for sure. And I think that's a big deal. Because the one thing Wilson did lack defensively is his arm. He doesn't have the cannon really, right? But Gary, to your point, man, when I saw the metrics, I was really, really surprised at what I saw. And when I really looked at the team as a whole, I thought we were better. Butler didn't surprise me and surprised me. If you really look at Butler, he always looked shaky out there, right? But he always made the plays. He rarely did not make the plays. So Butler ranked in the top 10 as far as outfielders, as outs above average. Leo's your franchise shortstop, Wilson at second. Yeah, I mean, the question here, Journey, isn't that. It's the question that was brought is who would you rather have at you want to have Muncy at second and Wilson at third, or Muncy at third and Wilson at second? I think it's going to be Wilson at second. And again, we got to see what DeVries is at shortstop, because what he's shown so far and what he's shown last year isn't great. With that being said, he's 18 years old. and he'll be 19 years old next year. As far as upside, there's no question. I mean, DeVries is far higher than Wilson is on ceiling. And I agree with you. I think eventually it'll be Leo will be your franchise shortstop. Wilson will be your franchise second baseman. The question is third base. I'll take Wilson's defense, plug him into the 2-hole, not look. Hey, Gary, 100% right. 100% right. You're absolutely right. And that's one thing this offseason. I want to extend. I want to extend those 3 guys. I also think that, I don't know if, what do you guys think of this? You guys think Soderstrom can be a future Triple Crown guy? I don't think he has that type of pedigree as far as home runs. The problem is with home runs, I don't know if Soderstrom, in order to win the home run title, you got to hit like 50, right? I don't think Soderstrom's that guy. Kurtz could be. Or if DeVries is the guy, second base for Wilson. I think eventually it's going to be, I'm with Journey on that. I think DeVries will be the future shortstop, the franchise. Everything he said, I think he'll be the Francisco Lindor type guy. I mean, he looks prototype Francisco Lindor when I saw him play. So Muncy's got to be at third, or who else? No, we got to go Muncy at third. Hernandez is your utility guy. Hernandez is the guy that's going to give second base, shortstop, third base your day off, right? I think we've talked about this before. He'll play maybe once a series, maybe once every 2 series, depending on what's going on. But to have Hernandez every day, like I've always said, he's good enough to get you beat. He's good enough to get you beat. I like Hernandez. I just don't. He's for me. He's not a 130 game guy. He's more like get in your 100, 110. Someone hits the 15-day IL. He's a hell of a replacement. He plays hard. He has good, tough at bats. But to win a championship, to get in the playoffs, I don't think you could win with Hernandez being your everyday guy. I think you got to have a Muncy who's developing. You got to have a Jacob Wilson who was that all-star. And believe it or not, eventually Leo DeVries as well in that lineup. For right now, if we have the 2023 second half Zack Gelof, that's good enough as well. Because I've said it on many occasions, defensively, Zack Gelof is a Gold Glove caliber player. And don't sleep on Brett Harris. Hey, have we talked about Miguel Andujar yet this show and re-signing him? He could play some third, guys. That's not a bad sight. I mean, I'm a big Miguel Andujar guy. So, but seriously, I wouldn't mind re-signing Andujar. Anyway, Muncy played a lot of shortstop in the lower leagues. He could play shortstop. He played a lot of shortstop this year, Patrick. He played a lot of shortstop this year in the big leagues. He can play it. He's just, the range isn't there. But as far as filling in there, can he play it? Absolutely. For me, I'd rather have Wilson at short than Muncy. And I think that's more of just Wilson not having the arm at third. JJ and Gelof got to go. You're giving up on him already, Journey? I mean, can we at least wait till spring training? I don't know. I don't know if I'm ready to give up on him quite yet, man. I'm still hoping. Let me hope. Let me keep on hoping, man. I'm not ready to quit on him. JJ Bleday was picked 4th overall. Jesus, Bleday. God, it's just heartbreaking. For 3 years, man, I've been hoping I thought J.J. Bleday, when he first came up and we got him in that Marlins trade, I'm like, J.J. Bleday is going to be a triple crown guy. He's going to be a batting title guy. Ugh. He just hasn't been that guy. He hasn't been that guy. I thought he was, you know what surprised me more than anything last year with regard to Blay, you've seen enough, was defensively he was bad. He's never been really, ridiculous defensively, but he's always been serviceable defensively. I don't know, man. But Soderstrom, like I said, hey, Gold Glove, good for him. I love the opportunity. A few things stood out when I looked at those defensive metrics. One, his finalists, Quan and Langford, as far as outs above replacements, which is the real thing they're looking at in judging who's going to be our finalist for Gold Glove, were among the 3 lower ones in all of baseball with regard to that particular stat. That's a good thing for Soderstrom. To give you an idea, I'll give you an idea. Outs above replacement, the highest individual was not outs above replacement. What am I talking about? Outs above average was Pete Crow Armstrong, 24. He had 24. The highest position player was Bobby Witt with 25. Cabrian Hayes, 21. Rafaela, Claudio, 21. For the A's, here's what was Denzel with 13. Next, after that, Max Schumann had 8. After that, Lawrence Butler, 4. Outs above average. Matt Chapman wasn't great. He only had 4. And then after that, I don't think we had anybody. Wilson, -2. And he was 100. And now this is all of baseball, what I'm ranking. Wilson was ranked 140th. Excuse me. Lower than that. Anyway, you get the picture. Defensively, we got to get better, I guess. Who's the best arm we have in the outfield? If you were to go straight arm strength, right? I think you got to go Lawrence Butler. The problem with Lawrence Butler is his mechanics. If you saw a lot during the year, there was a lot of times he didn't circle under the ball, get a running start, and throw it. It was always, he was in bad position, ball coming, and he would just throw flat-footed. Defensively, Colby probably, I would say Colby as far as best arm. Him or Butler as far as best arm goes. Good call, Patrick. Yeah. If I had somebody, if I wanted somebody to throw somebody out, and that's more than just arm, that's technique and everything that goes into it, I'd pick Colby. Remember one of his first games, made the diving catch, threw the guy, or the catch on the run, threw the guy out at home plate, saved the game. I forget who was that against, though. I believe that was his major league debut. His first game, he came in late innings. That's why you got to lock up Sodi. I want all 3 of them locked up to be, if you want to know my honest opinion, but I'll take 2 of 3. I'll be pissed if we don't get 2 of 3. Still have hope for Gelof, Rita. But I think JJ is packaged for another former high pedigree player who hasn't put it together. I take Mullins, or he has. Okay, let me ask you a follow-up question, though, Journey. Here's a key question. There's nothing wrong with what you're saying. But would you pay, $8 million for? Here's your options. You tell me who would you take. Here's your options. $8 million. This matters. The money matters. Okay, because if it's not going to them, we have an opportunity to go to somebody else. But we only have so much to spend it. Here's your options. $8 million, and this is for everybody. $8 million on Cedric Mullins. about 15 million for Yaz. Mike Yastrzemski, or 2 million, because that's what Bladé's up for arbitration, or 2 million, 2.5 million for Bladé. Who do you pick? 8 million for Mullins, 14 million for Mike Yastrzemski, or 2.5 million for Bladé. Who do you go? I'm going Bladé. Sorry. In the event the A's step up and extend a guy 2 or 3, when might this happen? We still can't. Yeah, it would be winter meetings. We're still not to the point where it's officially can happen. It has to be after the season, which is when the World Series is over. So after the last day of the World Series, whenever that is. Very high on Colby's potential. I like Colby a lot too. Here's the thing about Colby, though. Colby's Colby is, I'm going to tell you how old he is, because that matters, right? Colby Thomas. He'll be 25 next year. He's right in his prime. So, Rita, he has to make it work in the next 2 years. Has to make it work in the next 2 years. Rays, I think. Yaz or Mullins for that money? Hey, I like Yaz. I ain't paying no 14, 15 million for Yaz. I don't care. Don't care. I'm cool on that, dude. Nope. I'm straight. I'm all right with that. I'll take another shot on Bladé. At 2.5 million. Now, there's a difference though. That's going into next year. Now, if we're in Vegas in 2028 and we're a contender and we need that extra outfield position, and let's say it's not, those options, but if it's somebody where we need another outfielder, whether it's a center fielder or a corner outfielder or whatever it may be, then it's different. I think we still can afford to wait one more year on Bladé, but everyone's different on that. I got a little soft spot for them. I'll admit that. So I don't know. You know who else played outfield for us last year, though, that can help us is going to be a free agent next year. I wouldn't mind getting Miguel Andujar. So keep an eye on him. I think we signed Andujar. I think that'll solve it. I'll take Andujar for like 7 million. I don't know. Yes, failed the eye test, but somehow passed the Good call, Patrick. You're absolutely that's a great line, man. Yeah, he sure did, bud. Colby over JJ. Jesus, man. You and JJ had an ugly breakup, Jern. Oh my God. You were a big JJ guy like a while ago. But never a big one, but always hoping for him. This is an ugly breakup. Come on. We'll see how JJ looks in spring training. He's going to get another shot. We're not going to flat out release him. Now, the thing is you think there's any value in moving JJ? Maybe there's another GM like me out there, who's like, hey, maybe his best baseball's ahead of him and we could get something for him. Bob, Colby will break out. I hope so. He showed flashes, that's for sure. Tampa, I see what you mean. Yes, his major league debut where he threw the guy out, that was against Tampa. Was it against Tampa? You could be right. I know he had a big series at Tampa. That wasn't his major league debut, though. No, it wasn't. But he had a huge series against Tampa in Sacramento. I had a couple of home runs, huge ones too. He was tough against left-handers. And against left-handers, Kotze had him right in the middle of the lineup as well. Right in the middle of the lineup. Cage, that's a great question, Cage. So here's the deal. This is what I want to see this offseason and in spring training. I want to see Cortez get some reps in the infield. He only had, I believe, 2 appearances in the infield at second base this year. But I'd rather have Cortez in there as well. He can throw both hands, which is interesting about Cortez. In the outfield, he throws left-handed. In the infield, he throws right-handed. Is he good enough of a fielder at second base to fill that position? He just needs to be serviceable. Hernandez is all right. I'd rather have Cortez, in there as well, because Kurtz could give you a little bit of everything, right? He can give you outfield play. He can give you infield play. But the thing with Hernandez is Hernandez can play short, third, and second. I don't believe Kurtz can do that. But Kurtz can play outfield. I don't think it would be a hard transition for Hernandez to make to the outfield like Schumann did this year. So anyway. That's it. I got to cut the cord eventually. Get a single. All right. Fair enough. Fair enough. And you feel the same way about Gelof, I assume, too. Gelof, though, you got to give a little bit more leeway to, just because of the injuries. I mean, just because of the injuries. Once you felt Gelof was making the turn in spring training, got hurt in spring training. And then, yeah, it's just been a tough road. Bodie, look at Colby before he was a pro. His background was unreal. Very clutch, extremely. Yeah, absolutely. He went to Mercer. He missed his window for 1 year. We actually stole him, I believe, in the fourth round pick. He was awesome. Team USA guy. There's no question about it. But Bob, what you're saying, yeah, I'm not for 1 second doubting Colby Thomas's talent and what he can do. And he showed that in the major leagues last year. Big hits, hit in the middle of the order, was unbelievable. He has to cut down his strikeouts. That's one thing that he needs to cut down. He has speed too. He can steal bases. Ideally, I would like to see Colby Thomas make the team, be our everyday bat against left-handers. And ideally, yeah, I would like to see our outfield be Soderstrom, Denzel, Lawrence, Colby, and I said that at the beginning when Bill asked. I had Colby and Kurtz in right field. And you could also move Butler and right center. I just kind of, put them all together for right now. But yeah, I ideally I want to see a Kurtz. This is ideally what I want to see. I want to see a Kurtz, Colby platoon in right. I want to see a Denzel, Lawrence, Butler platoon in center. And you can't play Lawrence against lefties. I don't care what anybody says. And I want to see a Tyler Soderstrom in left every day. That's ideally what I would want to say. In a perfect world for me, I think that's perfect how it would work. Again, Kurtz, Colby, platoon in right. Denzel, Lawrence, Butler, platoon in center. And a Soderstrom every day in left. Plade is clearly dating Journey's ex. Half our team needs to cut back. Yeah, Bob. You know what's crazy? Here's an interesting stat, guys. 2 of the teams that barely strike out, that led the league in the least amount of strikeouts, you know who they were? Brewers and Blue Jays. He can have the X. You're the man, Journey. I agree with you, Bob. We need to cut down on Ks, man. But it seems to be that's the way baseball's played these days, which is a bummer. Hate it. That's the way it is. That's the way it is. Guys, 9 o'clock is the premiere of, I don't know if you guys like that politics stuff with regard. Am I doing too many episodes of the politics? Sometimes I feel I am. With regard to the stadium and the Vegas thing and all that stuff. If you want me to back off it, just tell me. Some part of me is tired of doing it. The other part's like, I want to make sure people know what happened. But, I think I've gotten away from baseball a little bit. You tell me what you guys want. I'm going to put the link up. It premieres at 9 o'clock tonight. So in about 15, 20 minutes. Is the premiere. What did I title that one? Vegas played chess, Oakland played checkers. Whatever. No, keep it coming. Every day I see a new Brody Brazil that drives me nuts. Tomorrow on Damon Amendola's he's doing a 3-part thing on 1 year with Sacramento and that sort of thing. I think he might have it out now or tomorrow, but I'm that third part on it. Check that out on his channel. Gets a little heated. Should be interesting to see how that gets edited out and all that good stuff. But I'm the third part on that. And I don't know how that went. Well, I know how it went when we did it. I don't know how it's going to be when he actually does the edit and that sort of thing. But we'll see. Part 1 and part 2 were terrible. Yeah, it should be interesting on part 3. I don't know what's he going to do. I said my piece. I don't know how he's going to present it. So we'll see. Other than that, 9 o'clock, part 2 with Dr. Death. Tonight premieres in about 13 minutes. Check it out. Slightly off topic. I think Mikado and Tatis drove Mike Schilt insane. I hope the A's stay away from prima donnas. Yeah, me too. Your breakdown was good about the stadium and the money. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. It's about the only thing my background's gone good at so far. Actually, I was like, I've never done I was in, for those that don't know, been in financing and lending and real estate for like 25, 26 years. Now, granted, I've never been part of a stadium deal, but been part of a few big ones. Like I was mostly a residential specialist, but on the commercial side of things, you get in, it's your borrowers or their business or their LLC who get in some major projects. So I was like 12th man on the team on a few of those. But you see what goes on a little bit. But again, nothing like a $2 billion stadium, but the foundation and as far as what goes on to execute the transaction is similar in a lot of ways. Just the numbers and the people involved are obviously a lot different. But permits and getting the city involved and everything that goes on with it, there's things that are a lot of it's the same. All right, guys, you guys take care. Like I said, here is the link for 9 o'clock. It goes off in 12 minutes. Episode is about 28 minutes long. It's part 2 with me and Dr. Death. Take care, fellas. Have a good one.